Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
ESPN 975, CW39, here with the man right now, talking about the long game. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Look, this movie, and I know you're doing the press and everybody always praises it during these times, but I want to let you know, it's a really, really great movie. I had so much fun watching this film and just going through the experience, and always love that it's a real story and bringing something to the light. You said in an interview that you felt responsible in a certain way to tell this story. Can you expound upon that?
Well, in the sort of the idea that I'm responsible to tell stories like this comes from me, without getting too political, but it's a really divisive time right now, and in many ways, the Latin community is a rhetorical tool, whether you're on that side or that side. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And so I think putting imagery out there, putting stories of positivity and stories that are hopeful. I think it's really important for particularly for young people who haven't sort of hardened into the positions. I think it's really important for young people to see stories that are positive and uplifting, and essentially telling them that they have another place in the world. They should have aspirations to sort of transcend their place or experience. And I think this film really does that, and it does it in a nuanced and hopeful way. And so, yeah, thank you for enjoying the film, man. I think the thing is like, when you do press, you have to sell something, right? And oftentimes, with a project, you might have to trick people into believing it's going to be good when it's not. And the thing is, we deliver on this film, and it's really a lovely film. It's shot beautifully, acted beautifully, and I think it's just kind of a special little piece of cinema.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I love period pieces in general because I love the nostalgia, putting back in that time period. I always have fascination. My parents grew up were born in the 40s and 50s and grew up in that era, and to kind of see it in Texas. This is where I am right now. I'm in the great state of Texas, and to see that story. And there's been so many recently, even A Million Miles Away with Michael Pena. I don't know if you got to see that one.
Yes,
and then this movie is really telling, I think, very important stories from a perspective that we don't get to hear from a lot. So thank you for doing that. You got to work with Dennis Quaid, another Texan, another Houstonian, in this movie. Y'all have worked before in The Rookie, another story that took place in Texas, if memory serves me correct. What has Dennis Quaid meant to you over these kind of, I guess, 22 years of your career?
Well, it's really a full circle moment. I mean, we worked together on The Rookie over 20 years, I think it is at this point. And it was early on in my career. So I got to work with a real sort of iconic guy, and he was a guy I watched in movies before. And when you step on set and Dennis is there doing his thing, it's really lovely. And it's also, for me at that stage in my career, is a real education, watching him work and how he engages and works on set and works with the crew and the cast, but also how he engages in the public. That was all an education for me. It was all new. It was all new for me. So that was really lovely. And to be back in Texas was great. And I have Texas roots. My mother's family is from Texas. So yeah, it was just, I love it. I'll work for free in Texas, man. I love going out there.
Let me ask you this though: when you have, like you said, this full circle moment, and you're on set with legends like Dennis Quaid or Cheech Marin, or even the young cast that's in this film, everybody in it's so talented. I just have a question, I guess, from an actor's perspective. Do you look at how other people approach a scene or material and go, "Oh, that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna take that. That's good stuff. I'll put that in the tool bag." Or do you just trust your own process?
Well, in terms of like seeing what other people are bringing, I already kind of know what my character is. So it's about sort of just being present, and seeing what and reacting. It's I think when you're young, you have this preconception of a scene, and you sort of marry yourself to that. But as you develop your skill, you have to be nimble, and somebody may respond or do something in a way that you just didn't see coming, and you just have to be nimble on your feet enough to respond appropriately to that. And if you're in the moment, then it's effortless, and if you're not, then that's a problem. But
Now,
yeah, watching them, like working with Cheech, that was like he's a legend. The guy's a legend, man. It was such an honor to work with him. And when he first got on set, he wanted to run lines. So I went to his trailer, and we were running lines, which is just like running through the dialogue to just hear it a couple times. And we ended up talking for about an hour about identity and his process and his journey of becoming an actor and working the comedy circuit, and just it was like a Barbara Walters interview, you know what I mean? so I was just kind of, it was such a cool thing. We were so happy to have him, and he brings so much to the film. He's just got so much heart. And people love the guy, So yeah, really wonderful.
He is a comedy legend. There's a scene early in the movie, and I won't give it away, but where the young kids are at the golf course, and one of them does something, let's just say, to somebody's vehicle, Cheech's reaction like made me laugh out loud. He didn't say a word, but his face, he's just such a genius when it comes to those nuanced moments.
He doesn't need to. It's just like a little like wink or a nod, and you're like, oh, okay, this is great.
We talked about the importance of the story. When people watch The Long Game, what is something that you want? Because you're really intimately involved with this. When you got linked, you were attached to this project, I think, prior to the director being involved, and y'all helped kind of flesh the script out even more and expand the characters, expand the stories, expand the message. What do you really want people to take away from The Long Game after they view it?
I think it's a couple of things. I just see this as an American story. It's not about Latinos. Yes, that's part of the story. It's the lens through which this story is being told, but that's the beauty of this country. We are a country of immigrants, whether you come from Laos, from China, from Japan, from India, from Mexico, from Guatemala. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of this country. And I think understanding that when you're telling American stories, sometimes it's like this, and it's a group of Mexican caddies who are trying to transcend their time. So I think that is a piece of it, and it's a hopeful story. And I think there's so much negativity in the news cycle, on social media, on people pontificating, on these little platforms and stuff. And it's just, I think when you have stories like this with this sort of nostalgic element, I think it's a moment to sort of reflect and say, all right, where are we? And is there something I can be doing perhaps more to help the situation as opposed to be a part of the division? And I think we need that right now in this country.
It costs nothing to be kind to somebody, right?
Absolutely.
It costs nothing to be kind. And I think we should share that a lot more. A couple last things with you. Again, The Long Game in theaters this Friday. When we talk about sports movies, now this is a movie that has sports as I don't want to say as a backdrop because it is essential to the film, but it's kind of the propeller that helps move the story forward. But it is in the sports category. So here are my two things. One, how much did you have to work on your golf game prior to the movie? And two, what's your favorite sports themed film of all time other than The Long Game?
Other than The Long Game
or The Rookie. We got to take the Rookie.
I was gonna say The Rookie. You say, well, no, I got one for you. All right, so I did have to work on my mechanics and do all that, but I would say that probably my favorite sports film of all time is Friday Night Lights, which was another film that I was in. Billy Bob Thornton, Garrett Hedlund, of course, great Lucas Black. It was a great film, and another Texas story.
Texas story.
Up there shooting in Odessa, Texas, in the middle of nowhere. But such lovely people, and that was really, I mean, that was an education in how important football, particularly high school football, is in Texas. I was like, oh my, this is like a religion. It is religion. Had never experienced anything like it. When we went to that field in Odessa, I looked around. I was like, this is a high school field. It's like a professional field, So that was pretty amazing. Man, it was another. It's all. I've been fortunate enough in my career to have so many moments where I'm just like, am I dreaming? I got to pinch myself. This is so surreal, And doing The Long Game and screening it at the White House yesterday and walking through the Oval Office and meeting the vice president. I was just like, how is this my reality? But
that's awesome.
Very, very fortunate. Yeah. Yeah,
that must have been a very surreal experience to be in the White House, the hallowed halls, and just view this film.
It took my breath away. It really did. And walking through those spaces and seeing that flag and seeing it in the film and just being in that space, it reminded me, of how special a country this is, and how important it is to remind ourselves of the things that bring us together. And I think in a strange way, this film does do that, and it was just it was beautiful, man. I like, I'm telling you, it took my breath away when I stepped into the Oval Office yesterday.
Well, you know what? The film, I'm sure, is going to take a lot of people's breath away because it's an important story. And I'm so thankful that you're getting to share it with the world and that you shared your time with me, Jay. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you love the film.